The Washington State Cougars are headed to the Rose Bowl to play the UCLA Bruins. Uh, Two teams that you and I were both high on at the beginning of the season. You were more so high on Washington State, and I was more so high on UCLA. But that's not to say we weren't both high on these teams. Feed me. Well, how about this? Okay, so Washington State's down pretty important receiver.
Yeah.
Pretty important receiver. But guess what?
Their top receiver.
Top? Or is Josh Kelly really their top receiver? That's a really good question because I've liked the way that Josh Kelly's played these last couple of weeks. Both of these teams coming off a bye. How about that? No schedule dynamic favoring in that situation. Both of these teams played really, really close games before their bye week. No schedule dynamic there. The only kind of dynamic that's going on here is the fact that it's in UCLA. That's really that's it.
That's just why the line is what it is,
Yeah. So what are your thoughts in this game right now?
I do think that Victor injury, right? Lincoln Victor, their leading receiver for Washington State, is a big loss, right? He's got some big playability, but also like Josh Kelly, you mentioned, really good receiver. Kyle Williams, really good receiver, right? Out of the backfield, they got some good receivers as well. I'm just gonna go Washington State, man. I cannot stop riding them. I just think they're so good. Cameron Ward is so fun to watch. I'm rooting for these guys. Jake Dickert and company there with the future of the Pac-12 unknown and their future unknown, right? They continue to show up every week and play really good football. It's exciting football. It's fun to root for, right? And I think UCLA is going to play really good. I think they might win this game. Who knows? But I'm going to take Washington State and the points and the cover. I don't care. Give me it all. I just think they're special. So, something's in the air up there in Pullman, Washington, and that's no slight to this UCLA team who I've been impressed with. I thought the Utah win was weird. We talked about it. I still think, Utah made a freshman quarterback look like a freshman quarterback, but UCLA had a whole bye week to get Dante Moore ready to face those really good pass rushers in Brendan Jackson and Ron Stone Jr., right? Figure out ways to help that O-line, give Dante Moore pressure, give him confidence to get going and to get his talented receivers and running backs to football. Right. So that's their path to success, obviously offensively, but also Cameron Ward, man, is sensational. Sensational. When is he going to be in the National Heisman context?
Well,
when is that going to happen? And I get it's only October.
He was for a week, and then he had a bye, and then everyone's like, "Oh wait, is it Michael Penix or is it Bo Nix or is it Caleb Williams?" That's what the conversation has been because Cam Ward literally had a bye. It's like Lou Holtz.
Can I ask you a question here?
It's like Lou Holtz dropping Ohio State down 5 spots because they literally just because they didn't even play. So
poor Lou Holtz. Regardless, though, if you switch Cam Ward and Bo Nix, does Bo Nix do this good on Washington State? Do they beat Oregon State?
I really like what's his name? The Zach, no, not Ben. Ben Washbuckle. What's his name? Is that his name? Washbuckle.
Ben Arbuckle.
Ben Arbuckle. That's what I'm talking about. He's the offense coordinator, right?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of him. I think Bo Nix would also be a really big fan of him as well. I can't say for certain. I do think Bo Nix last year was more consistent than Cam Ward was last year, but I have no reason to I have no reason to put Cam Ward yet above Bo Nix in terms of like the talent aspect. I think I don't know. I think they're both playing at an insanely high level right now. So I'm not gonna
that was more my point in terms of Bo for Heisman, right? Cam Ward should be right up there. And I think it's no secret that Oregon has more talent than Washington State. And I'm getting off topic here because this is a Washington State UCLA breakdown. But I just respect Cam Ward deserves some respect. I'll let you get into the game.
Yeah. Give me Washington State. Give me the points. Give me them to win. Give me them plus 3.5. UCLA, look, Dante Moore, if he can't figure out how to protect himself, right, or this offensive line can't figure out how to protect himself, whatever the problem is, sure, they had a bye week to maybe figure it out. Came at a good time. But who knows if they figured it out? I'm going to take A really good pass rush from Washington State. There could be a lot of points scored in this game. In fact, UCLA might run the ball really well, which we haven't seen them do really a ton this year. We've seen them run the
Yeah.
ball, but we haven't seen them run the ball like in a really dominant fashion. Like Oregon State ran the ball pretty decently against Washington State. It wasn't perfect, but they ran the ball well. They just couldn't keep up with Washington State scoring. I do think UCLA's defense is a lot better than Washington State's defense, but I also think that UCLA hasn't really played any like really high explosive offenses this year. It really makes you believe that UCLA is really, really, really good on defense. I still think they are really, really good on defense. I just don't know that we've seen that yet, right? So with that kind of volatility there, we know Washington State's good on both sides of the ball, good enough. We've seen them play Wisconsin. We've seen them play Oregon State. Though both those games were at home, you're asking Cam Ward to go on the road to the Rose Bowl. Is that going to be an electric environment? We'll see, I guess. I don't know. It could be bumping. Who knows? But yeah,
That's a noon local time kickoff, by the way, I believe.
Yeah, but look, I mean, Washington State's undefeated, right? I mean, they're ranked. Fans could get up for this game. I know Hard Rock was like actually not completely empty when Texas A&M rolled into town week 2. So who knows? Who knows? But yeah, give me Washington State. I'm with you. Let's keep riding. Let's keep riding the Cougs. We took them on against Oregon State. Let's keep riding. Let's go. This is a wagon.
It's really fun to continue for. One more point I'll add in terms of Washington State. I do think they've struggled to run the ball with their running backs this year. And I think UCLA has obviously been really good against the run this year, specifically in that Coastal Carolina and Utah games, which are kind of games I'd focus on in terms of, judging how good this defense is. Obviously, Utah's offense is what it is. But they run the ball pretty well at times. And then Coastal Carolina did not run the ball very well at all. But obviously, this Washington State passing game is just different than everything that they have seen so far. I do think Grayson McCall and Sam Peckney at Coastal Carolina, really good football players, obviously NFL players in their own right. But Cam Ward is a stud. And I think it doesn't even matter if you can't run the ball because he's just that good at making plays and extending drives and just finding receivers down the football field. And they're just so explosive. They're just so explosive. And that at any point, you saw it against Oregon State, you saw it against Wisconsin, where they just get, 21 points just like that. And it's like, what just happened? And then the game's out of hand or it's totally different than what it would have been. Right. And with a young quarterback, right, I get it, he's at home, which you love for UCLA. That's the kind of thing that just you almost can't recover from at times,
Yeah, I will say this will be the best pass rush that Washington State has faced this year, for sure.
Latu's good.
Yeah. But now, granted, Washington State, it's not like they haven't faced pass rush, right? They faced teams that can rush the passer, but nothing like this so far, I don't think.
But also all offseason, they saw Brendan Jackson and Ron Stone, right, every day in practice.
Yeah.
I get it. It's different. It's different in the game, but also they know what an elite edge defender looks like in the Pac-12.